Okay, let's hand it over to Steam
Hey
to
everyone,
share.
everyone. Hope you can hear me.
Hi. Hi, yeah, we can hear you.
Sounds good. Let me quickly share my screen.
Okay.
All right. So here's the rule for the. So we have a workshop today. Just go over a rule real quick. What we're looking for from Bifrost side. What we look at. Yeah. Coming forward for the hackathon. If you want to get access to the rule, I think the link is already included inside the main hackathon content. But if you want to look for it, you can just do a quick screenshot right now on the screen. You will have the breadcrumbs, and you go directly there. So on GitHub, bifrost-io/mono. So this is where we have the mono repo for basically everything regarding developers. Bifrost, inside the hackathon sections, and there's the markdown file called Building on Polkadot Mini Hackathon. So you can go in there and you see Dot Your Future, Create, Connect, Transform, which is the name of this current hackathon. So give you a little context. What is Bifrost? So Bifrost is a liquid staking app chain. So basically, liquid staking is essentially for proof of stake chain, or in the case of Polkadot, it's nominated proof of stake chain. For that kind of chain consensus, uh, will be able to stake the native dot, right, the dot token, and earn yield from for providing security for the chain. However, if you go through the normal nomination pool, which is what the native protocol for you to stake for Polkadot, your liquidity is basically frozen within the native staking. And there's this whole process of with the nomination pool, which takes about 28 days for you to unstake. So that until your liquidity kind of stuck. So what Bifrost offers is we are like an app chain, and you'll be able to stake your token and your dot token, and also you receive V dot token, which is representation of your dot token that is being staked at the moment to secure Polkadot. So then basically you are staking. At the same time, you also have representation of your stake, and you can take these tokens and you can participate in DeFi across Polkadot ecosystem, uh, which at the moment very popular on hydrations. Coming forward, hopefully there's going to be a lot of DeFi activities on Polkadot Hub as well, which is what the upcoming upgrades for PVM and EVM compatibility is going to unlock. But for this hackathon, what do we want to focus on? For Bifrost, we want you to focus on building front ends because for Bifrost, we would like a lot of people leverage our protocols. Our protocol, we have this thing called SLPX, and SLPX is essentially an extension for Bifrost app chain. Basically, SLPX is like a protocol outpost for Bifrost app chain that we deploy on a bunch of other chains. For example, uh, it, on Polkadot Hub very soon at the end of the year. We have a deployment on Polkadot Hub. On L2s at the moment, on a bunch of like other places where you can have these outposts that essentially communicates with Bifrost app chain and be able to allow you to leverage Bifrost minting liquid staking capability without having needing you to develop everything from scratch. So our goal is to get you to build front ends, especially front ends that's very good, really good experience, which is what the challenge detail is going to be, is design and implement a novel and high quality user experience for interacting with Bifrost widely used liquid staking tokens in a multi-chain environment of Polkadot. So basically, your job is to build front ends. Right? Your idea for this hackathon is building front ends. The better experience, the better the higher your reward is going to be. And so I have a couple ideas right here. So you can build a front end interaction interface for you to mint and redeem Bifrost liquid staking token. You can build like fancy charts like TVL chart, yield chart, all that kind of stuff. If you use DeFi Llama, you can have like a bunch of these reference. You can also build really good onboarding experience. For example, you build a wallet, or you integrate existing wallet, or you integrate passkeys, you integrate something that's be able like super user friendly to get people onboard into Polkadot as easy as possible fundamentally. Um, let's talk judging criteria. So I have three criteria that I will look at, which is originality, user experience, and also technical implementation. Originality just means just don't copy the other people inside, because you will, just don't copy your buddies that get the you just like as far as that, because my requirement is own solutions are open source. So definitely you feel free to use them as like a reference, use like open source solutions as a reference, but just don't copy like exactly as is. Make your own front end, design your own flow, that kind of stuff. But feel free to like take inspiration from like open source solutions. User experience, just make sure everything is clear, smooth, handle all of the user interactions. For example, I see a lot of people don't handle is when user cancel. For like you could be minting more liquid staking token, but sometimes you just like, oh, I don't want to mint. Go on the way, but then I don't want to mint. They cancel. If you don't handle that, it's gonna be very weird for user because they don't have any prompt. So that's why I meant when it comes to user experience. Handle everything, user interactions, make sure everything's smooth, and technical implementations. Make sure everything is well written, easy to understand, because fundamentally your submissions are open source, as will be served as a reference for other people as well. So good commentings, clear code, don't make like and of course try to, if you use AI, we don't disallow AI, but just be mindful how much slobs can be generated by AI. So just be mindful of that. Make sure you test your code. Make sure like everything is revealed probably before you release it onto production. So there are a couple of requirements. One, very important for us Bifrost, is the project must be fully open source. So basically, whatever submissions you submit into the hackathon, everything is open source. You can have the front end code. You're gonna have like a bit of back end code or like a contract if you want to. Doesn't matter. Everything that you submit into this should be open source. Uh, if you run like something like a database, you don't have to submit a database, but the backend code you want to submit. The same project can be submitted multiple times for optimized version. So basically, the idea is like after you win this hackathon, you can still keep working on your projects and just keep submitting it. And along the way, if you submit along the hackathon, just feel free to ask me for my opinions. I help you to optimize your submissions. Because the goal of this is like part is I don't it's not because there's quite a bit. I definitely help you out along the way, and you have any questions, and I think just everything is on the GitHub issues. When you create, you will see the submission guideline just below, and then you understand why. But yeah, feel free to ask me questions. I'll help you out as much as I could. But it's not really like a very intense hackathon. But I'm happy to help you out. And you must deploy your submissions onto testnet or mainnet. Most likely gonna be testnet because that's like where you don't have to spend real money to use. If you need any help, just let me know. I can send you some testnet token, and you must deploy to like a URL or like deploy on testnet for people to use. So on like these testnet, I already deploy a SLPX version already. So there's a couple of resources below you can refer to, and understand how to do the integration and everything. So submission guideline, uh, everything is laid out in here, but basically what you want to do is that you go to the GitHub issue sections over here. uh, okay, load. So you're here, you open a new issues, and you can do a proposal for bounty submissions. That's what you want. Just open that and make sure you include make sure you follow the instruction over here, which is you include this sentence at the end of your proposal, which is dot your future create connect transform. Just so I know that you're coming from this hackathon, make it easy for me to understand like where you guys coming from and can give you appropriate level of help. And basically after you make proposal, I will see it. GitHub will give me notifications, and then you just I will respond to you with approve or make some like suggestions and so on, right? Once you're done with submissions, just submit it exactly inside the issues that you created, and I will evaluate. I use it, I will try it, I will give you some more feedback so you can make some fixes. And once everything is good, everything looks good, I will mark that to be clear and just wait, and then give you a notification how much you're going to get paid. And for people who joining his hackathon, it's going to be towards the end of the hackathon period. and which is October 27th, code submission deadline. And there's gonna be a demo day after that as well. And make sure for you to receive your prizes, make sure you just follow the instructions. You need to create a a repository inside your GitHub account named Bifrost-io and create a file called funding.json. And with the format with the following content, it's a JSON that has Bifrost and your Bifrost wallet address, and just wait for payout. And of course, I will communicate directly with you on the issues, how much you get paid, or how much you win in this case, and you would know exactly how much BNC you'll be transferred. And so, okay, so there are a bunch of resources here. There's a short video explainer. There's a docs for human. There's a monorepo, which is the link to this one, to this repository. There's a builder program. You want to read more on that. There's some AI friendly docs over here. There's some, which is just a bunch of markdown files you need. But there's two things that I think were very useful for you. One is the Bifrost UI kit, which has like a bunch of pre-built like component you can take some inspiration from on how to do integrations. And there's Bifrost Dev Kit, which is essentially just the Solidity contracts that is for the SRPX protocol. That is deployed on testnet. So you can grab, if you want to look at the code, that's where it is. And you can ask any questions by tagging Frosty LST. So if you just go on X, you just search for Frosty LST and just tag it to ask any questions or DM or anything. The intern will help answer questions. Okay, so prizes for this hackathon, there will be two $500, 500 USDT worth of prizes. The other one is the payout is in BNC. So basically, I would just measure how much is 500 USDT that day for BNC, and then we pay you exactly that amount. You can use the BNC, you can stick it on Bifrost, or you can sell it off to USDT, whichever you like. And of course, there are two 500 USDT prizes, and there's five 300 USDT prizes, potential awards, which is if you submit and you pass, you get those 300 USDT. If you do a really good job, you get the 500 USDT. And of course, that doesn't end there. After you finish, you get your you get your hackathon awards. You can keep building it and improving it, and you get more support from us. From which is post hackathon incubation support. You can get more funding. You get essentially more money to help you grow. You can get so we have an intern account that will and on the official account to promote your front end. There's a revenue sharing program. Essentially, if you can get up to 50% of the LLC fee that we collect from people. So if you mint for us, you can collect up to 50% of that fees. So you can turn revenue from day one essentially. So it's a very open and transparent program. So a couple timeline. I think you would have known this, but just repeat. So you have right now is the so you have September 11th is when the registration begins. October 20th is when the deadline for registrations. October 27th is code submission deadline, and October 30th is demo day. So make sure you show up and show off your stuff. Right. That's it. That's it for the rule and for the hackathon.
All right, thank you, Steam. Thank you for your patient explanation for the hacks and details. And then we will come to the QA part. So Steam, one of the developers asked a question, which is for newcomers to the Polkadot tech stack, which track or vertical would you recommend as the best entry point and why? And if a team has already started building before the hackathon, is it acceptable to continue from the existing code base?
So between the two tracks at the moment, I think Bifrost track a little bit easier compared to to the other track, mostly because I only require you to build front end. You don't have to handle like smart contract, which usually the one that people get stumped the most. If you haven't done the work on Solidity before, would be a little bit little bit has a little bit like a learning curve. But Solidity is not a super hard language to pick up. But if you already built something, I would say you should. I don't know. You can make a proposal, and I will make the judge. I will check out the code,
Mm-hmm.
see if there's any, things you can reuse or any like synergy. But otherwise, yeah, just make the proposal, and we'll see what happened on that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And Steam, someone also asked the track emphasizes a smooth front end interaction experience. So, in your evaluation, will you prioritize visual polish or functional usability and seamless flow? Like, how do you balance these two?
I usually prioritize UX more than good looking front end. So there's you have
Mm-hmm.
UX and UI. UI part is when you make everything look very beautiful, right? You get the the as beautiful as possible, which is not something I prioritize. I would say for especially for on-chain apps, it's like a nice thing to have, but what I would because having on-chain app has some of the higher frictions compared to like Web2 apps, like like a normal backend like a normal app with like a backend is a lot simpler because there's no signature, you don't have to sign from your wallet, you don't have to connect wallet on those stuff. So there's when it comes to on-chain apps, there's a lot of friction in terms of user experience. So like
Mm-hmm.
how do you handle when people switching wallet, and you have when people get in, how you encourage people to connect wallet, how you encourage people to like make sure you read what they are signing and that kind of stuff, how you help people, how you handle like when people like reject, right? Because you fundamentally there's a component you have no control, which is the wallet. Most likely you would not be controlling that. So then there's so much interaction that you have to handle when it comes to that. And of course there, because even like the on-chain for on-chain apps, you have a lot of stuff you have to query on-chain data, and on-chain data is not as clean like a backend, because backend you can start tweaking the API to do a lot of stuff. For on-chain app, if you query directly from directly from a front end to the on-chain environment, it's a lot more clunky, and the data returns is like sometimes it's like very poorly like formatted. So then you need to do a lot of like brushing up work to make sure that the user feels very smooth, even though it's like an on-chain experience. So focus on the UX. The UI, yes, make sure it doesn't look like broken, right? Because if you go above beyond for also the mobile version, especially if I use your website on the desktop and also on my phone, looks good, then yeah, like bonus points on there, right?
Thank you, Steam. So, let's focus on the user experience, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Steam. Thank you, everyone.